Hello everyone, today I'll show you how to install OBS in your computer and the basic startup guide for it so that you can record your videos that is been presented on your screen, maybe your gameplay, or then this is how you should be doing it. First of all, head over to your browser and go to obsproject.com. There you will, or other thing you can do is just search for OBS, and the first link that should appear here is where you want to go. So when you go here, there are a couple of buttons over here from which you can be downloading the OBS software, and we are just related with the Windows version. The Mac install version is also pretty much similar to Windows. The Linux version requires you to use the terminal in order to install the OBS software into your Linux machine. So here I'll show you how to do it for the Windows version. So click here on Windows. The download should automatically start, and as you can see, the download has started. I have the file downloaded already, so I'll cancel this one. Once the download is done, head over to the exe file that got downloaded just now, and the installation is pretty much easy. You just have to open the file and keep clicking next until it's done installing. I cannot run the file right now because OBS is actually running in my computer right now, but the installation should not be a problem if you have installed any application previous to this. It's absolutely similar to installing any computer software into your computer. So now once you're done installing the OBS software, let's try to open it. So once you open OBS software, this is what you will be seeing on your main computer on the OBS screen. So if this is what you see, if this is not something you see, then maybe you should go into scene collection and click on new scene collection. It will ask for a name for your scene collection, so I'm gonna type here YouTube tutorial, but you can name it anything you want. And don't get scared if what you see right now is not what you see on your computer. If you see here scenes, sources, audio mixer, scene transitions and controls, if you don't see any one of this, just go into view, docs, and just make sure these 5 are ticked. So for example, if I uncheck the scene transition, it goes away. But if you want it, go into docs and just select scene transitions. Just make sure that all of this is actually checked. So now first we have to, let me introduce you to the OBS screen. The thing is, there are parts of the OBS that you should be knowing. So beginning with the canvas. The canvas is the actual place where you will be placing your elements, moving them around, and this is pretty much what the recording is going to be done, will be seen to you. This is the actual preview of what you'll be recording, or maybe streaming if you're going to do that. So this is the canvas, and next over is the scenes. So if I bring over to the recording that I'm doing on my OBS, so this is the window that I'm using to record. So here you can see there are multiple scenes that I'm using. So this is the PC display 2. If I go into PC display 2, it will show me the secondary monitor that I am using as a recording device. Or maybe if I go to screen both, here is where it will be showing me both of them, but I have not set it up yet. But let's just get back to the basics of OBS first. So I'll be taking that to my screen again, and what you have to do now is this is the part where there's a scene. This is basically you can call it as a collection of all the sources that go into one of the scenes. Now you don't need to know in depth of it right now. I'll make a separate video on how scenes work, but for now let's leave it over there. Then there is a sources window where you will be adding your display capture, your microphone, and maybe your overlays if you're going to stream your gameplay. The third window is the audio mixer. This part of OBS is actually where you control your audio that goes into your videos, the audio output capture and the audio input capture. The scene transition is basically for streaming. If you're going to be streaming, like I showed you before, if I switch scenes, a transition plays where my scene gets changed based upon with a video of me playing there. So this is how the transition works, and I'll make a separate video on that as well. And the last panel is the control panel here. This is where you will be starting recording and ending your recording sessions, as well as starting and ending your streaming sessions. So basically this is what everything is. So once you open a OBS window and a scene is automatically created for you in the starting the program initially, what you have to do next is add some display capture, audio capture for your recordings. So first of all, in the sources panel, you'll see there is a little plus icon over here. So basically, if you want to add your display capture or your audio that is coming from your computer, or the audio that you will be saying through the mic, then you will be needing to add a source for the same. For that, you click on the plus icon. There you will see a bunch of options over there. So basically every option has its own purpose to serve. For example, audio input capture is for you to capture the microphone or maybe any external device that you may be playing, like maybe a guitar or maybe any other musical instrument that allows you to electronically transfer the voice that is created, the audio that is created. Audio output capture is basically capturing everything that your computer is sending to you, maybe through your headphones or your speakers. Browser source are mostly for alerts and maybe some counters or something like that, but that is mostly for streaming. We are not considered in that. Color source is basically if you want to add a backdrop, a color drop for it. Display capture is going to be your actual display capture. So that is, the whatever you see is going to be recorded in display capture. Game capture is the same, but it works only for a specific window instead of the entire display capture. For example, if I minimize this window, you will be able to see everything that is on my monitor. If I don't want that to happen, I can simply add a game capture or a window capture. They basically work as the same, a game capture or a window capture, and then I set the properties of that element to capture only a specific window for maybe OBS. That is when, even if I minimize the window, people won't be able to see my actual monitor screen. What they will be seeing is maybe the frozen screen or maybe a black screen. Moving on to the next source is an image. It is pretty much explanatory. You can add your image on your stream or on your recording screen. The image slideshow is explanatory as well. It will cycle through the images that you provide one by one. Media source is used when you have to add a video in the background maybe, or when you want another type of video to be playing inside your first scene. A scene, you can actually nest scenes. If I have a second scene over here, I can add the scene on my other scene. This is what it is used for. A text is what you want. Text is what you will be using if you want to add text on your recordings. Video capture device is basically capturing your video from a capture device, maybe a camera or a capture card that you might be using to record your gameplay from another computer, such as a PlayStation or maybe a secondary computer. Window capture basically works same as a game capture. The only difference is window capture will capture anything, while game capture mostly focuses on capturing full screen applications. And then you can group multiple sources together. So firstly, this is how sources works. The next thing is audio mixer. Audio mixer is used in your videos to control the audio levels of different sources in your videos. The next part is scene transition. This is mostly used for streaming services, and for recording this is not necessary. The next part is controls. The most prominent buttons in controls are start streaming and start recording. These are the ones which are used the most. You would probably never end up using studio mode or settings, and maybe exit, but we usually exit applications using the top right cross button. So even this button is not usually used that much. So, and probably start recording is going to be the most common one, because streaming is not done by a lot of people, and this video mainly focuses on how to record for your videos. So this is basically what OBS Screen is. Let's move on to the part where I show you how to actually add different sources to actually record your videos. So the first thing that we're going to do is have a scene over here. If this is not visible, OBS won't allow you to delete the scene because it needs at least one scene, but this will be created by default, so don't worry, this will always be there. By chance, if something is broken over here at your end, then try hitting this plus button and it will ask you to name the scene. Well, I will name this scene as display capture. You don't need to add your punctuations or your grammatical skills over here. This is what you will be seeing, so it doesn't really matter what you name it. So first of all, we need to add a display capture to record what is going to be on my screen. So I'll hit the add button and then I will click on display capture. Once I say display capture, since I used the name display capture over here, it will ask me to name it, and by default it will use the suffix to. I will name this as monitor display, but it is pretty much up to you what you want to name it. You can name it anything you want. It is not mandatory for you to name it as monitor display. You can name it anything you want. Then you click OK. Once you click OK, you see this a little window appears over here, and basically you have two options over here, which display you want to display on this part, and if you wish to capture a cursor. For example, if I uncheck this box, you can see that you no more see my mouse pointer in this preview window, but if I have it checked, you can see there are two mouse pointers going in different parts of the screen right over here in this line. And I know this might feel a little bit inception-y, but don't worry, this is usually not seen in your recordings. So this is how you actually add your display capture. So now everything that happens on your screen will be recorded by OBS. For example, This is what you will be seeing throughout your screen recording. If I hit minimize, it doesn't mean that it has gone, it has just minimized, but it will still be recording, so don't worry. Now the next thing you want to do is to add an output capture to record what is coming outside of your computer, and let's leave the name as audio output capture. Hit OK. It will ask you what do you want the properties of this audio capture to be. I'll set this to whatever device you're using. Usually you find the system default as preset over there, but you can change it if you have multiple devices connected. Maybe because in my case, if I am using the USB PNB sound device, so I will choose this device over here and click OK. That is pretty much it, guys. Your audio output capture is actually in here. If anything is playing in the background of my computer, anything is that being streamed to your headphones or your speakers, that would be recorded by this particular audio capture. The next thing you want to do is to add a microphone. So by the same method as we did before, is to hit the plus button, or alternatively you can do is right click in the sources tab and go to the add tab. There you will find audio input capture. This is what you want to add. This is what you will be saying. So I'm gonna name it as microphone, but it is basically your choice on what to name it. It is completely optional, okay? So but you have to name something to it in order to tell OBS that this is a source. Hit OK. It will again ask the properties for the microphone source. I'm going to set this again to USB PNB sound device, since that is the thing I'm using. Hit OK. Now you can see as I'm talking, the bar is moving up and down, and this is basically because it is actually recording the sound that is coming through the microphone that I'm using right now. Once you hit the start recording button over here, everything that your screen will show will get recorded. So keep in mind that everything that is being shown on your screen will get recorded. It doesn't matter if it belongs to the OBS window or not. So once I hit the start recording button, everything will get recorded, right? Okay, that is pretty much how you start and get started with OBS. Okay guys, so this is the basics of OBS. In the next episode, I'll show you how to actually set up your microphone in a better way in order to have a better voice quality than what is being shown right now. And we'll also go through some basic settings inside and let you know about them as well.